moved to Vegas for a second time. I've lived here twice. And the first time I moved here was in 78. And I lived here from 78 to 82. And then left, and I came back in 89.
What if the Counting Cars star you admired had a dark secret? A secret that, if revealed, could shatter the legacy he built for over a decade. Danny Koker, the beloved host of Counting Cars, built a successful career in car restoration, mechanics, and reality television. He became a household name, celebrated for his artistic genius and larger-than-life persona. With his uncanny ability to transform rusted-out cars into masterpieces, Danny was not only an automotive expert, but also a symbol of success in the reality television world. But what happened behind the scenes? When the cameras stopped rolling, what was the truth fans never knew about Danny Koker? What really happened? And could these revelations really destroy the empire he built? Stay with us as we dive into the untold story of Danny Koker, the man behind the show, and uncover the shocking truths that have left fans gasping. But to understand how this automotive legend got here, we have to go back to the beginning. How did we get here? Imagine being a young boy in Cleveland in the mid-20th century, immersed in the world of engines and chrome with dreams of becoming a legend. Growing up in a place like that, especially with a family deep in the automotive world, Danny Koker's future seemed destined to be tied to the very cars he loved. Little did anyone know that dream would unfold in ways no one could have predicted. Danny's journey began with his father, who worked for the Ford Motor Company and had a deep love for music. Often accompanying his father to work, Danny quickly became captivated by car restoration. By his teenage years, he was no longer just watching, he was hands-on, spending hours dismantling and restoring vintage cars. His passion grew, shaping him into a skilled craftsman. Music was also a constant in his life. By age 11, Danny was performing at Carnegie Hall, balancing his time between music and cars. His education at Valley High School focused on shop and automotive classes, but Danny believed real learning came from hands-on experience, working side by side with seasoned mechanics. After high school, Danny's path to a career in car restoration seemed clear. He didn't follow the traditional route, opting instead for an unconventional path, chasing his dreams outside the classroom. From humble beginnings in Cleveland, his journey led him to Las Vegas, where his rise to fame would be anything but smooth, with challenges soon creeping into the shiny world of The Count, the show and its success. In just a few short years, Danny Koker's passion for cars and his undeniable talent would catapult him into the spotlight. With the foundation laid through his years of hard work at Count's Customs, Danny became the face of Counting Cars, a spin-off from the successful Pawn Stars franchise. The show brought viewers into the heart of Count's Customs, where Danny and his team worked on custom cars, restoring and transforming them into masterpieces. Counting Cars quickly became a household name, with millions of fans tuning in to watch the high-energy, high-stakes world of vehicle restoration. It was a show unlike any other, blending the artistry of automotive design with the personal stories of the people who lived and breathed cars. Viewers were hooked from the start, and Danny's expertise and on-screen charisma made him a beloved figure in the world of reality television. As the show gained momentum, the fan base grew rapidly. Celebrities and car enthusiasts flocked to Count's Customs, eager to see the magic behind the scenes. Counting Cars was a massive success, attracting attention from fans around the globe. Danny was no longer just a mechanic, he was a legend. His skills, his personality, and his ability to turn even the most dilapidated vehicle into a work of art made him a star. The show's ratings soared, cementing Danny's place in the spotlight. Soon, celebrities from all corners of the entertainment world were calling on him to create custom vehicles for them. It seemed as if there was no stopping the momentum. Counting Cars had transformed Danny into a fixture of the automotive world. His name was synonymous with quality, expertise, and the ability to make magic happen with cars. But as his fame grew, so did the pressure. Danny's success was built on years of hard work, but it came with its own set of challenges. With fame came expectations, and the pressure to maintain that level of success only mounted over time. What viewers didn't see was the toll that success was taking on Danny and his personal life. Behind closed doors, cracks were starting to form in his otherwise perfect world. The first signs of trouble. While Counting Cars soared in popularity, problems began to surface at Count's Customs. Minor lawsuits, complaints about the quality of work, and some internal challenges hinted at larger issues lurking beneath the surface. Danny had built a thriving business, but as the shop grew, so did the complications. Though these early controversies were relatively minor and quickly settled, they pointed to a deeper issue. As Count's Customs expanded, it became more difficult to maintain the same level of personal oversight that had made the business successful in its early days. Danny, once the hands-on boss, found himself more distant from the day-to-day operations. The complexity of running a successful business, combined with the relentless pressure from the show, began to show. While the media and the public continued to praise Danny's abilities as a mechanic and a businessman, the reality was that his success had brought new challenges. As the fan base expanded, so did the expectations. People wanted more from Danny, bigger restorations, faster turnarounds, and a higher level of perfection. And while he could certainly meet the demand, it wasn't without its cost. The pressure to maintain the perfect image, to constantly deliver flawless work, and to keep up with the demands of reality television were beginning to weigh on Danny. He had built a legacy, but was it too fragile to withstand the increasing expectations? Public image versus private battles. While Danny Koker's face appeared on every screen, his personal life was shrouded in mystery. To the public, he was the cool, laid-back mechanic, someone who could turn any rust bucket into a masterpiece with a smile. Fans adored him for his skills, his personality, and his rock and roll image. But what they didn't know was that behind the scenes, Danny was struggling with personal demons that would eventually come to light. Whispers about his private battles began to circulate, but for years they were just that, whispers. But soon, those whispers would become louder, and the truth, however dark, would eventually leak out. Danny had spent years crafting an image of himself as a larger-than-life figure, someone who could conquer anything that came his way. But what was really going on behind closed doors? The tension built. Rumors began to spread that Danny wasn't as invincible as he seemed. There were talks of addiction, of stress, and of personal struggles that were being kept from the public eye. Fans who once viewed Danny as a hero were left questioning everything they thought they knew about him. The man who had become a symbol of success was now facing an entirely different set of challenges, ones that he had worked so hard to keep hidden. But what no one expected was the shocking truth about Danny Koker's battle behind closed doors. The revelation would shake the automotive world to its core, changing the way fans saw the Count forever. The scandal that shocked the world. It wasn't just a rumor, it was a shocking reality. In 2017, the world discovered that Danny Koker, the beloved Count of counting cars, was entangled in a scandal far darker than anyone could have imagined. The charismatic figure known for transforming rusted cars into masterpieces was now facing serious legal trouble. Behind the cameras and his larger-than-life persona, Danny had been battling an addiction that would eventually come to light in the most public way. The leak of the scandal revealed a $75,000 lawsuit implicating Koker in a controlled substance controversy. His connection to a former employee involved in the illegal drug trade sent shockwaves through the automotive world. For fans who had watched Koker's rise, this revelation was like a punch to the gut. How could someone they admired for so long fall so far? It was a devastating blow, not just to Danny's image, but also to Counting Cars and Count's Customs, the business that had earned him national recognition. The impact on his career was immediate and harsh. The public, once enamored with Danny's talent and charm, was left questioning everything. Could someone who had built a successful brand on trust and passion for cars really be involved in such a scandal? The fallout wasn't just personal, it was a crisis that affected his entire empire, leaving fans and clients uncertain about the future of the show and the shop. Fallout and public outrage. Danny Koker, once a hero to many, was now the villain of the story. Fans who adored him were left in disbelief, questioning the integrity of the man they had watched on their screens for years. The public's reaction was swift and unforgiving, with media outlets and social media platforms buzzing with sensational headlines about the scandal. Once viewed as a genuine, hard-working figure in the world of car restoration, Danny's image now seemed tarnished beyond repair. The media frenzy only fueled the anger and confusion among fans. The man who had been the face of Counting Cars, a symbol of success and craftsmanship, was now under intense scrutiny. The show that had once been a lighthearted celebration of automotive artistry was overshadowed by the scandal. What had once been a beloved brand was now synonymous with controversy. For some fans, it was hard to reconcile the Danny they had admired with the man implicated in such a shocking scandal. While some in the automotive industry had weathered their own storms of controversy, Danny's fall was a full-blown crash. Other celebrity mechanics or reality stars had faced legal or personal issues but had managed to bounce back relatively unscathed. Danny's situation, however, was different. The scandal was more than just a bump in the road. It shook the very foundation of his career and his personal life. The fallout spread beyond the public and media, rippling into the world of car enthusiasts and the business world. For many, this was a crisis they didn't see coming. The legal consequences and prison time. The reality of Danny Koker's downfall hit hard. For someone who had built a career on trust and hard work, the legal consequences of his actions were a devastating blow. Danny was sentenced to 30 days in jail for his involvement in the scandal, and for many of his fans, this was the final straw. To see the man who had been the face of counting cars behind bars was a stark contrast to the public image of the beloved car restoration expert. The legal troubles were only part of the equation. As Danny served his time, the damage to his reputation continued to grow. The question on everyone's mind was whether he could ever rebuild what had been destroyed. Count's Customs, the very business he had built from the ground up, was now under a microscope. How would his team, his clients, and his fans react to the scandal? Could the shop survive the intense scrutiny? At the same time, Counting Cars faced its own uncertain future. With its host embroiled in legal trouble and the show's credibility hanging in the balance, the network and producers were left wondering whether the show could continue. For many viewers, the show was no longer about the cars. It had become a drama centered around the man behind the wheel. The scandal had shifted the focus away from the cars to Danny's personal life, making it difficult for the brand to maintain its previous level of success. A new era begins. But Danny Koker was no stranger to resilience. After serving his sentence, he made a conscious decision to rebuild, not just his career, but his life. Sobriety became his new focus, and he was determined to regain the trust of those who had once supported him. The road to redemption was long and difficult, but it was a path he was ready to walk. Danny's commitment to sobriety was one of the first steps in his recovery. He publicly acknowledged his struggles and used his platform to discuss the importance of recovery and self-improvement. For some fans, this honesty was a sign of growth and accountability. Others, however, were more skeptical. Could someone who had let down so many ever truly redeem himself? While Danny worked on his personal life, the road to repairing his professional image was equally challenging. Count's Customs, though still operational, was now viewed with a sense of caution. Clients who had once flocked to the shop for custom restorations now had to decide if they could trust the business after everything that had transpired. The fans who had once revered Danny for his skill and charisma now had to confront the reality of the man behind the show. The future of Counting Cars also remained uncertain. With the show over and Danny's image tarnished, would fans ever return to watching a show that had been so closely tied to his reputation? Could Danny ever regain the level of success he had once enjoyed? While the road ahead was rocky, Danny's resilience and commitment to rebuilding his life remained evident. But the question remained, could Danny Koker ever truly reclaim the trust he had lost? Fighting to keep Count's Customs alive. After the scandal, Danny Koker's automotive empire, Count's Customs, found itself at a crossroads. Once hailed as the gold standard for custom car restoration, the shop now faced a new reality. The trust of loyal customers had been shattered, and the public's opinion of Koker, once unwavering, had been tainted. For many, the man they once admired was no longer the charismatic figure they had seen on television. But Danny wasn't about to let the business crumble under the weight of the scandal. Count's Customs, the heart of Koker's empire, was on the brink of collapse. The shop, which had once been the go-to destination for high-end car restorations, now found itself struggling to maintain its status in the wake of negative publicity. The phone calls stopped coming in as frequently, and foot traffic at the shop significantly decreased. Fans of the show Counting Cars were no longer flocking to Las Vegas for a glimpse of the workshop where magic had once been made. But Koker wasn't ready to give up. He was determined to fight for the legacy he had worked so hard to build. At the start, the shop's survival was uncertain. The number of clients dwindled, and the enthusiastic atmosphere that once characterized Count's Customs was replaced with a more subdued, cautious tone. The shop was quieter, with fewer cars being worked on and less excitement surrounding the projects. It wasn't just about keeping the business afloat. It was about rebuilding the trust that had been broken and proving to the world that Count's Customs could still thrive despite the scandal. Through a series of strategic adjustments, Koker and his team managed to keep the shop alive. They scaled back on some of the grander projects, focusing instead on smaller, more manageable restorations that wouldn't require the same kind of high-profile attention. This more humble approach allowed them to keep operations running without overextending themselves financially. While it wasn't the same kind of operation it had been in its heyday, Count's Customs endured. The passion that had driven Koker to become a legend in the automotive world hadn't died. It had simply shifted focus. He wasn't about to let the shop fall apart without putting up a fight. The return of the show that started it all. As the dust settled from the scandal, Danny Koker turned his attention to salvaging the Counting Cars brand. The show had been a defining part of his life, and he knew that it was still possible to keep its legacy alive even if the show itself had ended in 2021. Though the Counting Cars show had wrapped up, Koker wasn't ready to let go of the connection he had built with fans over the years. He found ways to keep the spirit of the show alive, inviting fans into Count's Customs for museum tours and open events. He opened the doors of his shop to the public, allowing visitors to walk through the very place where some of the most iconic car restorations had taken place. These tours became an important part of his efforts to regain the trust of fans and rebuild his public image. While the show had stopped airing, Danny remained present in the public eye through these interactions. The fans who had once followed Counting Cars returned to Count's Customs, eager to relive the excitement of seeing a custom-built vehicle transformed right before their eyes. However, the question remained, would they ever fully forgive Danny for the scandal that had rocked his reputation? Despite Koker's best efforts, his past was a heavy burden to carry. The fans returned, but not all of them embraced him with open arms. For many, the scandal had left a permanent mark, and the trust that had once been so easily given was no longer freely offered. But Danny was determined to prove that he had changed, that the man who had made mistakes was the same man who had built Count's Customs into the powerhouse it had once been. The path to redemption was long, and he knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but he was willing to face them head on. Family, music, and the search for redemption. During the darkest days of Danny Koker's scandal, when the weight of the media frenzy and public backlash seemed overwhelming, he wasn't alone. Behind him stood his wife, Corey, a woman who had unwaveringly supported him through thick and thin. Corey had always been more than just Danny's spouse. She was his rock, his confidant, and an essential pillar of both his personal and professional life. Their shared passions for cars, music, and business formed the foundation of their partnership, and their love for each other transcended the challenges they faced. As the scandal unraveled and Danny worked tirelessly to rebuild his career and his reputation, Corey was a constant source of strength. She played a crucial role in managing their business empire, specifically Count's Vamped, the rock and roll themed bar they opened in Las Vegas. While Danny's personal struggles required his full attention, Corey's leadership at Count's Vamped kept the business running smoothly. It became not just a business venture, but a reflection of their shared vision and personality, a place where their passion for music, automotive culture, and hospitality blended seamlessly. Corey's ability to handle the day-to-day operations allowed Danny the space to focus on his recovery and professional comeback. Despite the rumors swirling around their marriage, speculation about the strain caused by Danny's demanding schedule, and the scandal, it was clear that Corey's commitment to their relationship remained unshakable. The world seemed eager to see the couple crumble, but Corey and Danny proved time and time again that their bond was rock solid. The scandal may have tested them, but it never broke them. Their partnership endured, a testament to the depth of their connection and the mutual respect they had always shared. But during this tumultuous period, more whispers began to surface, this time about Corey's health. Rumors of a potential health crisis led her to step away from her responsibilities at Count's Vamp temporarily, which only fueled further speculation about the state of the Koker family. At one point, the internet buzzed with rumors of her tragic death in a car accident. The social media storm was overwhelming, and fans who had grown attached to the Koker family's story were left distraught, flooding the internet with messages of support for Corey and hoping for her safe return. When Corey eventually returned to Count's Vamped, the relief was palpable. Fans who had feared the worst breathed a collective sigh of relief, not only because Corey's health seemed to be improving, but because it was a sign that the Koker family was still intact and moving forward together. Corey's return was more than just a personal triumph. It was a symbol of resilience for the Koker family, a reminder that even in the face of hardship and and adversity, they were committed to each other and their shared dreams. Their ability to overcome the challenges they faced only strengthened their bond, and it became clear to everyone who witnessed their journey that the Koker family's love for one another could withstand even the harshest of storms. Can Danny Koker recover from it all? The question on everyone's mind after the scandal was simple. Could Danny Koker recover from everything that had transpired? Was his career, and by extension his reputation, beyond repair? The fallout had been swift and severe, and the road to redemption seemed impossible for someone who had once been a national icon. Reflecting on the scandal, it's clear that several factors contributed to Danny's downfall. Was it the pressure of fame that led him to make bad choices? Did his growing ego and the demands of being a reality TV star cloud his judgment? Or was it simply a case of a man who had been hiding his struggles behind the facade of success? Despite the overwhelming challenges, Danny Koker's story isn't over. He's still here, fighting to rebuild what was lost, and many believe that his road to redemption is still very much a work in progress. The lasting impact and future of Danny Koker. Danny Koker, the star of Counting Cars, once stood as a beacon of car restoration and reality TV fame. With a passion for automobiles and a larger-than-life personality, he became a household name, admired by fans worldwide. However, the shocking revelations about his personal life in 2017 changed everything. A scandal involving drug-related charges and legal consequences rocked his carefully crafted image, leaving many fans questioning the man they had come to admire. The fallout from the scandal was swift and severe. While Danny's reputation took a massive hit, Count's Customs, the automotive empire he built, also suffered, with business slowing and clients questioning their trust in him. Despite Danny's efforts to rebuild his life, including serving a short jail sentence and committing to sobriety, the damage was done. While some fans were quick to forgive, others couldn't move past the scandal, and the Counting Cars brand never quite regained its former glory. The show, once one of the History Channel's biggest hits, struggled to recapture the magic it had during its peak, and Danny's legacy was forever tainted. As Danny approaches his 60th year, the big question remains, what's next for him? While his skills as a mechanic and his entrepreneurial spirit are still respected, his future in the automotive world depends on his ability to move past the shadows of his past. Will he reclaim his place at the top, or will the weight of his past mistakes continue to follow him? The truth is, only time will tell. Despite the challenges, Danny remains a figure in the automotive scene, and his story isn't over. If you've enjoyed watching this journey unfold, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on Danny Koker and other iconic figures in the automotive world. Thanks for watching.